Hunting means a lot of things to a lot of different people. First and foremost, putting meat on the table. It's the way I was raised. My father introduced me. The secondary part is that it taught me so much about who I am as a person. And ultimately, my goal out here is to come back from every hunt as a different person than I was when I left home. I can't say enough about what it has taught me. I would like to imagine that it helps me be a better husband and hopefully one day a better father. And I'll be able to pass this tradition down to my children as well.
Live on the edge, 'cause brother, win or lose, it's all in what you do with the chance you're given. Yeah, through the wind and rain, you feel your heart pounding. You got one shot, what you got? Tell me what's it gonna be? You gotta make the most of this opportunity. If others fail, make sure you succeed.
The Edge is brought to you by Browning Canada, Canadian Tire, G5 Broadheads, Prime Archery, High Mountain Seasonings, Hornady, Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow Experts, Vortex Canada, Wolverine Guns and Tackle, Modular Driven Technologies, Sticks and Stones Anglers and Hunters, Off Grid Food Company, and these fine sponsors.
Quiet Cat is the best hunting and overlanding e-bike in the world. Created from the bottom up to be overbuilt and overpowered. Don't be fooled by imitations. Quiet Cat, where the road ends, the adventure begins.
On this week's episode of The Edge, you're joining me, Joe Eppele, as we hunt moose here in British Columbia. It's been an interesting year for me. I had some truck problems and some work-related issues, so I wasn't able to get in the bush as much as I had hoped. So currently do not have any meat in the freezer. Pretty excited, great conditions. It looks like it's gonna be nice and cold. If a decent bull does show up, we're just gonna get in the bush, see what's moving, see what kind of sign we have, and go from there. Camp set up, got everything unpacked. Took the first few hours, got settled in nice. We're gonna hit the road here in a little bit. So we're just gonna try and make sure there's no deadwood over them and everything like that. Just clean everything up and then hopefully hit her hard first thing in the morning. I just want to say a huge thank you to Steve Wheeler at No Limit Sports in Squamish. Let him know I was taking the boys up here and we were going in for some quad rentals. And rather than doing that, he set us up with his beautiful new Can-Am here. Set us up for the trip. So a huge thanks, Steve. Appreciate it. Jumped in the side-by-sides, made it up here quicker than we thought. There wasn't too much deadfall on the road at all.
It's chilly. I think if I did this again, I would go with the windshield option for sure. Cheeks are numb.
So I'm very fortunate on this hunt. Brandon Isaac, my cameraman, is actually a guide as well. So Brandon has volunteered to do some of our calling and teach me a few tricks of the trade. So well, that's a wrap for day one. And just as last light set in, last few minutes, we heard a bull in the far distance. We decided to back out and get back to camp here. Tomorrow morning, our plan is to get back into the same spot, probably try and do some calling right at first light, see if we can turn that bull up. If not, just start pushing bush and see if we can cut some fresh sign. Well, here we are, day two. We're hiking back into where we left off last night. Ground's a little crunchy up here. Unfortunately, we didn't get the snow we were hoping for, but it's still a beautiful morning. We're gonna have a great day. That's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful out here. Well, we came back out. We didn't go quite into where we were last night. The snow was a bit crunchy because of the rain.
But we set up here, did some calling. Unfortunately, he didn't come in. We sent the guys off on one direction and working on the opposite side. And we're gonna push in. There's some nice dark finger in edges. We're gonna go push in lots of feet, good covers. Well, this is more what we're looking for. We finally got some droppings on top of the snow. And our first set of tracks here. And we're coming across a lot of old sign. Some extremely significant game trails you can see right here. So. If I was a moose, this is where I'd want to spend my winters, so let's hope they think the same. Fresh snow here. You can tell these tracks are fresh. Still kicked up on top. We had some moisture last night. Nothing's frozen yet, so getting better and better. It's actually not frozen yet. Tastes like chocolate almonds too.
Have you ever done a moose call before?
Not like proper, just messing around.
Not on TV.
Definitely not on TV. How'd I do?
Out of a job.
It's pretty unbelievable. We stopped just over this ridge. A no sign everywhere, and then come 200 yards. And onto this south-facing slope, and all the snow's melted off. We're in an old burn, and it's just beautiful mule deer country right now, so maybe we'll have to switch things up a little bit and cover a bit of both. Well, we spent about half the day working in and working some ridges. Weren't really happy with what we were seeing. Great sign, but not a lot of visibility. So we came across this willow patch behind me here. We're up on a ridge. We have a pretty good vantage point. So we've marked this spot on our GPS. We have to start heading back to the side-by-side for timing today. But our game plan is to come back up in here in the morning, first light, and maybe do some calling. So we have a game plan for the morning. Still got a lot of time to hunt. Just can't hunt farther in here today. Back up here, first light, day 3. As you can see, we got a perfect bowl to do some calling and some glassing here for a little bit. Start ducking down into it, check for some sign, slowly work our way back. We're gonna work this back half today, valley. So this to me just screams huge muleys. Didn't see what we wanted to see at first light. The wind's picking up a bit. Got some cold fronts moving in. We're finally getting some snow here. So our game plan is just gonna be to continually work this ridge behind me here. If nothing else today, we're gonna get some more understanding of the layout of the land and come up with some good plays for later on in the week. Looks like great country. A lot of good visibility when it clears up for a few minutes at a time. So we're just gonna try and pick it apart and keep going. It's been a great day so far. We've just been driving the side-by-side along, and every time we see something that looks like it might be nice, we jump out. But as soon as you poke in on some of these edges, you get glimpses down into some of these little hidden patches. And it's always worth it to jump out, cover a bit of ground, because as soon as you go over that next ridge, it's amazing the kind of country that opens up. Well, it's safe to say this is where we're gonna stop for the next few hours and have lunch. We're gonna put some hard eyes on this. I'm gonna break up the tripod and mount my binos on it.
After riding the windy ridges all morning, I have to say there's something sweet about finding a good spot like this with a good view, fire going, and I can put the binos on the tripod, give my hands a rest, and just pick everything apart. It took all morning to find it, so there's nothing we could have skipped to get here. But now that we know where this spot is, we're definitely gonna be spending a lot of time here.
Had some interesting weather throughout the day. It was dropping really hard and getting some snow and then heating up. Seems like a lot of the snow is starting to melt here though. Feeling pretty good about getting in the bush and starting to look for some sign. I think we can finally still hunt some of the thick stuff. Another great day in the bush. Can't wait for tomorrow. Back at it, bright and early, day 4. Just gonna glass a few of these spots on the way in, and then we're planning to punch down into the valley bottom. And seems like the snow might have melted a bit overnight, so hopefully we can get in there and do some still hunt through the bush and see if we can kick up fresh stuff. If you guys are looking right now, on day 1, we did some calling at the far end of this canyon right here. Day 2, while we were up here spotting, the guys pushed in and saw some fresh sign of a bull and a cow in the second yellow patch from the end right there. It doesn't seem, from what we've seen so far, it doesn't seem like they're hanging out in the open in the big willow patches. They're more likely to be sticking down in the bottom wooded sections where they have some more cover. So it's gonna be a little crunchier than we wanted, but hopefully as we get down there and get to a lower elevation, the snow softened up a bit so we can sneak around. So we got down at the bottom of the valley here, and it looks like all the snow's melted on the far side. So we're gonna get over there, hopefully find some quiet walking, just weave in and out of the trees. That should give us a great view coming back in across the canyon. While we're down here at the bottom, and as you can hear, it's just dead silent. Sound really carries, so I'm gonna let out a few calls, see if we can get anything's attention. Well, that's a wrap for day 4. Spent the mornings back in the valley glassing, but all the sign that we saw that looked fresh at all was in the thick. Snow was too crunchy and weren't able to put a stock on anything, so we backed out, went back to camp.
Where did he go?
Let's see. What a beautiful bird, eh?
Look at that. Strutted up. Perfect little youth, 22, Browning. Got the job done. Always worth packing around in the bush. Oh, look at that. That's where the first one is. That's his feed sack.
Wow.
He's gonna be tasty. Well, we need 2 more, and the boys can each have 1 bush chicken. That's more like it. Look at the difference in the colors, male to the female. Beauty. Boys are gonna be eating well tonight. While we're here at hunt camp, we've got some grouse going. This is a blue grouse that Wes shot back at our old hunt camp. And we've got the hearts and gizzards, completely different colors. And we've got some hearts and gizzards here as well. What we're gonna do is we're gonna load them up with some seasonings here. We have some High Mountain Seasonings venison rub and some trail dust. This is gonna fry up real hot. Put those on for a few minutes, flip them over, and repeat until we're done. Okay, well that's the last of the grouse here. I'm gonna get this inside for the boys to eat. Gonna get fed, get rested, and we got big days tomorrow, so here we go.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Day 5, the weather and the moose weren't cooperating, so we packed up camp. We're heading to a new location. We got some intel. Some people have spotted some young bulls in this area. And at this point in time in the hunt, we're just trying to find some huntable animals and get some meat on the ground, get meat in the freezer. So pretty excited about changing locations and new opportunities.
So we're out here in a new location, and one of our friends in the area was gracious enough to let us stay at his cabin. We're going to be pushing the bush and hope to make the best of a rough situation. Well, things are getting better and better. Came around the corner and there was a bit of a rock slide, hit a sharp rock, and we're not going anywhere on that. Things just keep getting sweeter and sweeter right now. It's gonna be a tough one. We're gonna have to in-reach the boys, get them to come pick us up. As we're waiting to get rescued here, through the bipod on the rifle, we're gonna pick out some rocks on the far hillside here and make sure we're still dialed in. We've been doing a lot of driving. Pretty sure nothing's bounced around, but it's always good to double check. Three hours later, haven't heard back from anybody yet, so we've gotten a little comfortable, found some wood, started a fire. Just sitting here dreaming of my big sleeping bag back at the trailer. So gonna be a long night, but we're at least 30 clicks in the bush, so we're not hoofing it back, and there's no way to limp this side by side. So we're just gonna get comfortable and hope for the best. Starting to get bleak, but we're gonna stay positive and keep hiking and hunting. That's what it's all about. There's no guarantees, especially when you're doing a self-guided hunt. We're gonna be working the ridges, breaking out the glass, doing a lot of spotting. Just got eyes on our first legal buck. It has been a hard haul, and I've got him in the spotter right now. I'm 95% he's got good splits on the back. He's in a stalkable spot. Wish us luck. Well, we've dropped a lot of elevation. We're gonna keep diving down, glassing across, trying to make sure we can see where he is. Just found him bedded, dropped down the hill. It's a very stalkable spot, so feeling optimistic, but a lot can still go wrong. We have a 4-point at 250 yards. He's bedded. He's hanging out with a doe. Oh, this is amazing. I'm just gonna enjoy this for a second. Then we're gonna get ready to take the shot. All right, we have him bedded at 250 yards. He's bedded with a hot doe, so he's just gonna stay there. We dropped quite a serious amount of elevation in a short period of time through some ugly country. But we managed to sneak in the last little bit. He's still bedded. So here we go, showtime. My heart is in my throat. I'm at a loss for words right now. This has been a tough week. Anything bad that could have gone wrong did go wrong. We went at it hard today. Looked across, saw a doe working her way, and right behind her was this buck. He bedded down, let us get close to him. And right now, he's over there thanks to one quick shot. Zach's bolt, great job. 250-yard shot, so it's not a tough one for it. The Hornady Super Performance, Vortex Optics, GMX tip. You can see he went down quick, barely got out of his bed. It was a tough hunt, but we got it done. I can't thank you guys enough for letting me do this. Beautiful buck. You can see he's been beating up some brush, chasing does. A lot of people I need to thank for getting me here. Wild TV, The Edge, 10th anniversary, and they let me join the team. All of our sponsors, Browning, Vortex, Hornady, Off Grid Food Co., MDT, High Mountain Seasonings, everything. This process is just amazing. I can't thank you guys enough for letting me do this. And this is the end goal, obviously, always get a freezer full of good meat, beautiful mature animal. They don't always go as you script them, but luckily this one came together right at the end.
I was introduced to hunting at a very young age. My father started taking me out roughly around the age of 4 or 5. As you may or may not know, I lost my dad 5 years ago to brain cancer. And some of my earliest and fondest memories of my father involve either hunting, fishing, or camping. And every time I'm out here in the woods, it feels like I'm that much closer to him. Sometimes when it gets tough, I sit there and I have a chat with him in my head. And one of my biggest regrets is that throughout my athletic career, I missed a lot of opportunities to hunt with him. We always talked about getting away and going on some pretty big hunts. And you think you have a lot of time, but you don't always have as much time as you want. Just this past summer, I got married, and as a wedding gift, my good hunt buddy and good friend, Mark, had something very special made for me by Wade Latkin. What he did is he made this knife. Mark took these rounds, these were fired through my dad's 300. And the reason this knife is so special is he took some of my father's ashes and embedded them in the shell here. So even though he's not necessarily still here, he'll always be with me on all of my hunts. This knife's gonna go everywhere with me, and it'll always be the knife I use for breaking down my animals, and especially on my first cuts. My dad will always be here with me. First cut's gotta be the tag. The animals don't always read the script, but if you stick it out and you keep pushing hard, things come together. I'm not the greatest hunter in the bush, but I surround myself with a lot of great hunters and I learn a lot from them. Hard 9 days, but it was all well worth it. We're gonna get this butchered up, get the meat in the freezer. We're gonna have a lot of great stories to share with our friends and family.
Thank you guys so much for letting me do this. What an experience.
The Edge is brought to you by Browning Canada, Canadian Tire, G5 Broadheads, Prime Archery, High Mountain Seasonings, Hornady, Victory Archery, the Carbon Arrow Experts, Vortex Canada, Wolverine Guns and Tackle, Modular Driven Technologies, Sticks and Stones Anglers and Hunters, Off Grid Food Company, and these fine sponsors.
Live on